Episode 8. Surely she could flag down a passing car. In her state, someone would stop and help her, covered in blood, multiple injuries, and bound. No human would not stop and help a female in such a bloody and disheveled state. It was only a few minutes before she was smashed into the ground yet again, pain upon pain, as she took more injuries to her already damaged skin. Her knees had taken some of this fall. She could feel pain coursing through them. Two wolves pulled her up off the ground onto her feet and started pulling her back the way she had come. She tried to kick out at them but was in too much pain. They were also bigger and stronger and just kept moving forward, her eyes lifted to the road ahead and fear embedded into her every fiber. She was home. She could see past the van to the big black gates that indicated the front entrance to Blood Moon Pack. The van had stopped a good 300 meters away due to her sudden fighting in the back. The left side of the gate was open, the right still closed, but she could easily recognize the red circle on the closed half of the gate which represented the blood moon. What the pack was named after. Her struggles renewed but were to no avail, as they just gripped an arm each, tighter and tighter, and marched her up the road toward the half-open gate and the waiting car she could now see on the other side of the gate. The back door was open and waiting for her. She noted that the sounds of fighting had stopped. Back by the van that had brought her here, tears were still spilling from her eyes. The pain was too much, and then there was her fear of being home, fear of what was to come, if this was just the beginning of it. She didn't want to think about more pain that was due to her or how it was to be dealt out or by whom. A sob escaped her. She knew who it would be and her heart burned with pain at the thought of it. Would she ever see her children again? A hand fell on her left elbow and the two men holding her let go instantly. "Nice to see you again, Jayla." She heard Beta Jackson's voice wash over her in a soft, gentle tone. "I'll take her from her boys." He then walked her up the road towards the gate and waiting car. She did not fight him. He had once been one of her closest friends, not anymore. But she could not fight him. There was only one or two people in the Blood Moon Pack that could take him down one-on-one, and she was not one of them. Her whole face hurt. Her knees were on the verge of buckling under her from the pain, but on she walked. She was covered in wounds, and she did not have Cora to heal her or help ease her pain. She had to simply endure it for as long as they saw fit. He was staring down at her. She could feel his eyes on her. She kept her eyes lowered to the ground. What could she say to this man to make him let her go and betray his alpha, his best friend? Nothing, and she knew it. So she said nothing, just let those silent tears fall down her bloody and ruined face. She must look utterly miserable, which was exactly how she felt too. She heard him sigh as they got to the car. He put her inside and slid in next to her, then ordered the driver to go straight to the pack house. Her fate was now sealed. She could only pray to the goddess to protect her babies from harm. She sent up the prayer with all the love she had for her babies. Nathan POV. He was waiting in his office, pacing back and forth. His father, Blaine, had also taken a seat in his office, though on one of the comfortable chairs by the unlit fireplace off to the right of his desk. The men who had collected her from outside her apartment building were taking their time in getting her here. It had been almost 24 hours now. A whole bloody day. He was furious about the length of time it was taking to get her here. Jackson was currently sitting in a packed car, down by the gate awaiting her imminent arrival. He would take her off their hands. The men he'd paid to collect her had reported to him that they'd had no trouble snatching her. It had appeared she wasn't expecting it, which surely she would have been. It had also been reported that they had drugged her with wolfsbane to keep her compliant and easily transportable back to his pack. Jackson had made certain that no harm would come to her. He'd paid them very well to make sure of it. Nathan had approved any amount necessary to keep her untouched by others. Havoc had displayed his unhappiness about her being drugged by ripping out of Nathan and upending his desk, leaving claw marks all over it. His wolf had been unsettled since the day he had seen her on the TV, and it was really starting to weigh on Nathan too. Havoc could be very unpredictable at times and uncontrollable when in a full-blown rage. He was currently very quiet, never a good thing, calm before the storm, so to speak. I got her, Jackson mind-linked him, nothing else. Havoc's attention instantly acquired, his ears were up and he was pushing forward, right at the forefront of Nathan's mind. Nathan's attention was drawn to his father as he suddenly shot up to his feet. His eyes glazed over. Then he left the room without a word. Odd timing, he thought, but shrugged it off. He had other things to attend to. His father was not his concern right now. Trying to stop Havoc from ripping out of him and running off through the pack was more bothersome for him. Havoc had not acted this strangely in a very long time. Years, in fact. The last time he had near ripped out of him at the thought of a she-wolf was when he had scented their destined mate Sophia. His wolf had given no quarter to anything between him and his mate. "It's just Jayla." He tried to reason with his wolf. "She's not our mate." Nathan couldn't understand Havoc right now. "We grew up with her. She was 20 when she left." He continued to try and stay in control of the beast clawing at his mind. "We had a mate then, remember?" Havoc snarled, gone now, anger rolling off of him in waves. He still missed the wolf counterpart of their mate, Maxie. They had bonded quickly and were happy with each other. He'd not so much as looked at another wolf since Sophia and Maxie had left them. He had been rejected because Sophia was a selfish, lazy, spoiled brat of a she-wolf who wouldn't even so much as try to learn her Luna duties from his mother, had just wanted to laze around the pool and do nothing all day long, day in, day out. She had also stubbornly refused to train and learn to fight to protect herself, told him that was what the warriors were for. If something happened, she'd just command 20 or so to protect her. She had refused to learn how to assist with running the pack, did not seem to care about anything other than spending his money on useless shopping trips. He had given her everything she wanted, lavished her with gifts, but to his surprise and annoyance, she'd told him were not good enough. The car she wanted and he'd bought for her, apparently the wrong color in her opinion, yet it was the color she had chosen. The jewelry was not expensive enough, or one of a kind. Others might be able to be seen wearing the same piece, which was unacceptable. He had tried his best to please her very materialistic needs, but after 2 years of insults and never being good enough, he had stopped trying. The only good thing about their mate bond was the sex. It was always hot, heavy, and furious, and she never really said no, only occasionally.
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.